Hello, my name is Ajibola Tajudeen, but you can call me Keeme. And today, watching Conversations with Keeme, a show where we ask stuff and we make stuff. Today, my guest is a well-respected anchorman on News 8 and has been working there for more than 30 years, since 1987. Please help me in welcoming Keith Kountz.
All right, Keeme, my pleasure being with you.
What interested you as a teen?
In the news business, getting into the news and broadcasting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was always the kind of person who loved learning about new things. Mm-hmm. And I also, as a child, was kind of addicted to the radio. Mm-hmm. Now a lot of kids are on the internet and watching TV. When I was a kid growing up on Long Island, I used to listen to the radio all the time. I fell in love with the radio, with radio news. When I was a kid in middle school, I was involved in the school paper, and then when I was in college, I was on the school radio, and I've just been really lucky. I've been able to do what I've loved my entire life, make a living at it.
Wow. So you've been here for more than 30 years, right?
Yeah, I started here in 1987.
September 7th, right?
Yeah, wow, you better than I am.
Yeah.
So I left Connecticut and WTNH for a couple of years in 1998. Mm-hmm. My wife and I and my daughters, we went to Jacksonville, Florida. I worked for the ABC station in Jacksonville for a couple of years. And I was lucky. News 8 called me back a couple of years later, asked me if I wanted to come back here in a little bigger role.
So working in the news industry, what do you think has changed over the years?
Well, I have to tell you, the technology has changed incredibly. I'm sure for somebody of your age, you can't understand what it was like back in the old days. Now we work completely on computers. Wow. All of our scripts are on computers. Back in the old days, everything was done via typewriter. If you know what a typewriter is.
Yes, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people your age don't even know.
Wow.
So we work with paper scripts. If we were here at the station and we had to communicate with somebody out doing a report, we had a two-way walkie-talkie radio. Now we've got texting, we've got cell phones, we've got a lot of ways to get in touch with people. Back when I first started here, we had, in the studio, we had manual camera operators, so we had a person standing behind every camera. Now if you went in our studio, you would see our cameras are robotic.
Yes.
So from a technical point of view, things have really changed.
If you could play any sport professionally, what would it be?
I'm a tennis player. I played tennis pretty much my whole life.
Wow.
So if I could play at Wimbledon or the French Open, it would be a dream come true.
Wow.
So I know a lot of people would probably say pro basketball or football, but I kind of always like one-on-one sports. I never like to really rely on the team. So I've always loved to play tennis.
How do you fit the time in to play tennis with being a newsman?
I'll tell you what, my schedule now, my hours are a lot of people would think they're tough. I like them actually. I do the morning news and the noon news, so I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to be here at 3:15 in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah, so that raised your eyebrows a little bit.
Wow.
And I normally am done. My day is over at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, which is great because that normally gives me a couple of hours to run around and play tennis with my buddies or go to the gym, get a little workout in.
What did your children feel like having a father who was in the news industry?
That's interesting. I think they, over the years, kind of accepted it as it's just Dad's regular job. I think in the beginning, when we went to a restaurant and people would come over and say hello or want to take a picture, that it was a little different to them. But after a while, I think they got used to it, and I think at this point, I'm just Dad. They don't, they don't care, which is a good thing.
This year with NPT, we're doing a show called Hunchback of Notre Dame on the 18th and the 19th of August. And, the theme of Hunchback is being an outcast.
Yes.
And I heard that you applied for 500 news companies and only got 499 rejections.
Yeah, that was right when I started wanted to get in the business.
Wow.
And it's always been a competitive field, but back when I wanted to get in after college in 1984, 85, there were no cable outlets. There were only 3 TV stations basically that did news in any particular city. So you had a lot of people applying for a very small amount of jobs. So obviously breaking in was really, really tough.
So we're coming to the end of our interview today, so I would like to ask you,
yes,
what would you say to young leaders out there who want to lead in their community?
People need to know that there's a tremendous amount of opportunity out there for all people. And I gave a commencement speech to a high school here in New Haven earlier this month, and I told the young people that when I was coming up and 40, 50 years ago, there were no people like Oprah Winfrey. There were no people like Barack Obama. There were great athletes like Michael Jordan, but there weren't athletes that were also their own brand and dominated in the business world. And I just really want to emphasize the message to young people that in the year 2018 and moving forward, there's really no excuse not to be everything you can be, because so many barriers have been broken and you really can accomplish anything.
Wow.
Ready?
So we're going to show our work.
I'm giving yours a 10, mine about a 3.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for being a guest on Conversation with Keeme.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
All
Best
right.
of luck to you too. And I would like to say to you young leaders out there, make sure you know your voice is your power. So use it. Keeme out.